So this is going to be a Fire Emblem Warriors review. I haven't done a video in 2 weeks, which I've been busy. I haven't really found the energy to do it. But now, you know what, I'm in the mood to make videos. I might live stream later, just for the record. Gonna be doing some history mode. I've put roughly around 18 hours into the game. I've been really enjoying it. I have a few issues with it, and we'll talk about it through the review. So yeah, should we just get into the review then? So, Fire Emblem Warriors, I created a short list and bullet pointed of what I want to talk about. I think I should start with gameplay. So the game has a very hack and slash repetitive gameplay vibe to it. You get the character, you just A-A-A-Y, you just burst through a bunch of enemies, which can be really fun. But you know, if you're not really into repetitive kind of style gameplay, it might not be for you. I kind of like it because you can just put podcast on and then just hack and demolish an enemy. And there is a lot of other characters with other special moves, so it can be, and it can get more interesting along the way. There's also like I said, special moves, new characters, and there's story elements as well. So it doesn't. There is other things to keep you occupied and constant objectives, stuff like that. Has some RPG mechanics. Nothing heavy like the obviously the 3DS titles, but it still has some RPG mechanics to it. Like you can level up after defeating a certain amount of enemies. You can use the camp. I believe the camp is where you can get relics and then increase your characters, maybe like a defense, attack. You can even use the, I think Master Seal counts as a relic, and you increase your characters' rank. I believe it doesn't has anything to do with level in this game, which caught me off by first, because I got a bunch of characters to like level 50, and I was like, what the hell's the level limit? So I decided to try one Master Seal, and this was after I completed the game, no, mind you, but after I completed the game, and I was like, oh crap, so the Master Seal doesn't affect level at all, which was another thing that got me, because in the games I usually get them to level 20 before using the Master Seal. I mean, you can do it at level 10, but then you're missing out on 10 levels worth of experience. And then you've got leveling. Convoy is helpful because you sort out the items, but most of the characters you get have like legendary items. Like I believe Ryoma, for example, has a Ranjito, and Corrin has that blade sword, satellite, stuff like that. They're pretty powerful weapons, and you don't really need to use any silver sword or anything. Maybe some of the main characters, although, spoiler alert, the main characters tend to get these really sacred swords at the end that make them OP. So a lot of the characters don't actually need to use. I haven't used much of this. Robin, I did use it a lot on, because he uses the books. I think so. Some of the characters do, but like some of the main like lords, they have their own sacred swords. So I didn't use a lot of that. Some of the secondary characters I didn't use a lot either. Talk about characters later. So there's two modes. There's story mode, history mode, and then there's also like different difficulties. I believe there's 3. There's 4 once you complete the game, which was Lunatic. And also, I believe once you've completed the game, Classic mode? Once you complete the game in Classic mode, the Classic mode's completely gone. So you can get I believe you can get all your characters back, or they just don't die after you've done it. I haven't checked it out yet. I haven't played the game in Classic mode yet. Maybe I'll save that for a stream or something. And then the amiibo. I did a video on the amiibo. If you want it, that link will be in the description. You don't get too much good stuff from it, but still, I kind of like the figures. Look how cool that Chrom one is. Yeah, you get Chrom's practice sword. I don't know if you can use the Chrom practice sword on Lucina, because she uses the parallel falchion. I believe the practice sword is like a bit more stronger. It doesn't say much anymore. Boost your attack speed. Yeah, I can actually notice that. It does actually kind of boost your attack speed. But yeah, that's it. History mode's pretty much I believe you gain 1 character per history mode, and there's 5 in total. After you complete the game, you can unlock female Robin. This is gonna be riddled with spoilers all out. So you can unlock female Robin, male Corrin. I'm not sure who you can unlock through the Marth Shadow Dragon story. I'm guessing it's Anna, possibly, or some sort of skin. I believe that's you can unlock skins by doing other stuff and collectibles. And I believe that's how you unlock Lynn and Celica, because they were nowhere around during the main story. But yeah, moving on to characters. I think the game had a bit too many fake characters. I'd rather they removed some of the children like Lisa, Sakura. Didn't really care too much for them. I believe the other ones were fine. I just really wish they put some of the focus more or less on Sacred Stones characters. That's really disappointing, but still, I still think the characters themselves actually feel really good. My favourite so far was Marth. I think I never really liked the character too much because I never played any of his games, but the character feels really good to play. So does most of the other characters. I mean, I think there's the odd character that can feel a little bit off. Nothing comes to mind, but most of them feel very smooth and fun to play. The voice acting was okay, but I recommend downloading the Japanese voice pack. It doesn't take too long to download it. I think it took me around 10 minutes. 5-10 minutes. Language packs tend to be the reason why file sizes are so big, so I kind of like the idea. If you want a language in particular, just download it, and it will save your file space so much. Because you see some of those sports games, they have like every single language that already downloaded onto it, and it can add gigabytes and gigabytes of memory, and it's just insane. So I kind of like this system of downloading the voice pack you want. What else did I bullet point? Let's talk about the original characters. So you had the twins. I can't remember the name. I just can't remember. I'm just going to call them the twins, refer to them as twins. And then I felt they were a little bit annoying, but you got used to them after a while. I kind of like Darius. Darius was probably the most interesting original character, but it was a little obvious, the spoilers, he was going to become a villain. But I liked most of the original characters. I felt like the king was a bit underwhelming because he's just in one cutscene dies. I would have liked to have seen him become a boss, but I guess not. They needed to big up Darius, I suppose. Music, amazing. The music was really good. Because they took Fates had some really good music. Awakening had really good music. I believe Shadow Dragon probably had good music, because most of the Fire Emblem games have good music. And then they combined them all together for the final battle. I think they had, I believe they had, I can't remember the name of the songs, but it was like If Purpose, I'd Purpose, no, it's I'd Purpose. Then they had the final one from, Fates, and then I believe they threw in Shadow Dragon and the main Fire Emblem theme, and it was all in together for the final one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what was happening. And then they also have a few other soundtracks, like I believe they have the final theme, battle theme from Fire Emblem Echoes, somewhere around here. And then they also had a little bit of music from the GBA, especially when you're in the History World mode. This camera's fine, right? Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that's a lot. Let's move on to graphics. Graphics, it tends to, let's say the graphics are pretty good, especially it's nice to see all these characters that are usually in like 240p and nice 1080p. Although I have to admit, when it's in 1080p 30 FPS, when there's a lot of characters on screen, you can notice it drops to 20 and maybe even 20, and so it lags a bit, especially when there's a lot. But that can easily be fixed when you move it on to 720p 60 FPS. I didn't notice any issues after that, especially even when I undocked it. But yeah, graphics pretty good, with that minor interference. But I do love the option. Most no console games I've seen before have offered an option where you can have higher performance over higher quality, and I really like those options in games. So there's also collectibles. You can buy, let's say, for example, you defeat 1,000 soldiers and Anna comes onto the battlefield and you go up to her, you can take a scroll and then you can add that to a piece of art. I still haven't done that yet. I'm not going to spoil for you what you get, but I'm just saying, look, there is some sort of collectible element. I believe the Master Seals sort of are a collectible element, and you can eventually upgrade every unit. Or I'm not sure if there is some sort of limited amount to the Master Seals. So I'm going to talk a lot about the story now, probably spoil the hell out of it. If you want to skip to the conclusion, feel free to. This story is okay. It starts off with the twins losing their home and their mother, and then they have to travel with this guy called Darius, and then they meet a lot of warriors along the way from these outroad realms, and they have no idea where they are, so they get confused and then fight the main characters. So it starts off with them finding the Awakening cast, and then Frederick wants to challenge them, to test them. Then you pretty much unlock every Fire Emblem character, besides maybe Cordelia and Robin. Robin becomes an enemy sort of later, because if you played Awakening, he becomes possessed by Valvadar and the Shadow Dragon within him. No, Grima. Shadow Dragon's probably something else, Grima. And then eventually later on you meet the Fates cast, and they're trying to fight to get their siblings back. It's pretty much confusion. That's the only reason you fight these characters, over confusion. I believe you don't even fight Marth unless you play history mode. Yeah, I mean, eventually the bulk of the story, I think from chapter 5, 6 to about 14, it's all about collecting the Echoes characters. No, not the Echoes characters, the Fates characters. But yeah, I mean, it's all good. I mean, I enjoyed playing most of that. There's a lot of references to the games. Like, I believe, like, the main character, one of the main twins, he wakes up and gets picked up by Chrom. There's a chapter where Ryomu and Xander have to fight, and then you've got to stop both of their armies. So it's kind of reminiscent to chapter 6 of the Fates game. Yeah, but the characters, I feel Marth just came in and helped you pretty much towards the end. It's like, I'm here now. And then you had to retrieve some swords, you had to retrieve the Fire Emblem back from Darius, and you pretty much just fight the dragon and you'll go home, happy ever after. That's pretty much most of the FE stories, without most of the modern ones, because you can mess around with the Outworld Realm stuff. But yeah, now I'm going to be talking about the conclusion. Try and get this into 15 minutes. I don't like reviews that go on forever, so I'd give the game a solid 8.2, and I know that's a tiny bit low, but still I think that's pretty good. I don't like how most game companies just straight up give a game 9. A lot of the time it just feels like they give 9, but review scores are just very. I don't like review scores too much, but I'm gonna give one anyway. But yeah, 8.2. That's how I feel. I still think 8.2 is still very good. Still very good. I'm a kind of a harsh critic. Like most, I actually haven't checked the review scores for this game yet. Like, I might do that afterwards. But yeah, I feel like the story was okay. The cutscenes were really good. There's pretty decent range of characters, with the odd exception. Story was fine. Like, I like most of the elements. The gameplay was fun, fast, energizing. Did like a little bit repetitive, but that's all good. Just put on a podcast. Repetitive gameplay can be okay. But I think seeing the same special over and over and over again got a bit boring. I wished it got some of the specials sped up a bit, especially after seeing them 1,000 times. I'm not sure if there actually is a way. Maybe there is a way to do it, but that's how I felt. It kind of became, yeah, that's what I said. I'd definitely recommend the game if you're a big Fire Emblem fan, because it's a lot of fan service. There's a lot of little references. I don't know if I could recommend it if you want a Fire Emblem fan. I mean, if you want a Fire Emblem fan, there's still a lot of good stuff in the game. Like, there's a bunch of good. It's actually really quality, well done. But it's definitely focused towards Fire Emblem fans. I mean, a lot of the mechanics are solid, the music's amazing, and the polish of the game is really good. So I don't think I could say any more. I could really need a drink after talking for 14 minutes straight. But yeah, thank you. And if you got the game, you could tell me what you think of it in the description below. I thought it was really good. Maybe maybe a little bit underwhelming. It's probably because I really wanted some Sacred Stones characters, and they were limited to just the 3 games. I'm gonna do a live stream later. I'm very close to unlocking Lyn, I believe. I'm gonna unlock Celica after that, and I really want to play those characters. And then I'll probably go for Male Corrin and then Anna after that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you if you join me on the live stream later.